my channel, Jean Canete Vlogs. Welcome 2020. I'm glad I'm back. First day of 2020. Just like to tell you all guys that this 2020, there may be slight changes when it comes to video contents that I'll upload. So if you noticed, the videos that I had from my channel, like from the last year, it's more of expression of myself, so my travels and all, makeup, covers. So I thought of changing it a little bit for this year, for 2020. It's gonna be more informative this time, whether it has something to do with life experiences or job tips. So there are a lot of tips that you can find online, like if you Google, diba? So for those first timers, I think you have already seen a lot of like anong dapat gawin before you go to the interviews and all, job hunting, what else, from dress, from answers and all. So the one that I'll give you today is basically an advice from the people I know, from the people who went through application process. What else? I also ask people who are part of training team who did have an experience of interviewing applicants. I will share to you 3 practical tips on how to land a job in a BPO industry. So this video content is just part 1 because we'll be talking about just the application process. And this video would be more beneficial to the newbies or the first timers, or what they call center virgins. Okay, the first tip: come prepared. When you say come prepared, it can be physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, let's go one by one. Physically. So, one of the friends advised or gave his advice that, you guys, if you are applying for a BPO job, before you go to an interview, make sure na nakakain ka na. Okay? The reason behind is, normally, it's very rare na sa call center, yung application process is napakasaglit lang. Palagi yan, merong follow-through. So for example, initial interview, exam, and normally medyo matagal yung sa part na final interview. So the final interview normally happens like within the day, but it can be the latter part of the day, or it will be scheduled on a different date. So what if it's scheduled within the day and matagal yung gap ng oras? So what you can do is make sure that you have eaten prior going to your interview. And aside from that, you can also like at least bring crackers. At least kapag nagutom ka, you can just, get something out from your bag. Right? Okay. So that is under, again, come prepared. So physically, eat prior going to an interview if possible. Bring extra crackers. Another one is, so this is still under come prepared, okay? To prepare you physically, you also have to bring a jacket. Why? Because for BPO centers, for call centers, I've been in the call center industry for like over 10 years, different centers, and I've never had any centers na napuntahan na hindi malamig. Sobrang lamig palagi. And when it's cold, it adds up dun sa nervousness. So, para ma-lessen yung pressure and yung nervousness na nararamdaman mo, you keep yourself warm. So, you bring your jacket. Okay? That's very important. That's a small thing, but it can have like a big impact. Okay, so that's for the physical. Now, for mentally, you have to come mentally prepared. Um, you have to at least have a good sleep prior to your interview. You know, even for the yung mga matatagal na sa call center, what they do is usually straight from the previous work and then go straight to dun sa ina-applyan nila o sa ina-applyan nila, and nakakasabaw yung ganon. So for you to mentally prepare yourself, you have to at least have a good sleep or medyo mahabang sleep prior to the interview. That's a very simple preparation, which na-controllable because it's you. So if you know na may interview ka, then you sleep prior to that. Okay. Emotionally, how do you prepare yourself emotionally? Now, let me tell you this, guys. Even the ones na talagang matagal na sa industry and sanay na sa mga interview process and all, um, they still get thumbs down or they still fail mga interview process. So you have to prepare yourself emotionally na if you don't get the job, that's not the end of the road. There are a lot of centers who can still offer you jobs that jobs that suit you. So that's not the end of the road. Don't just take it as uh, an inspiration na kaya pa, marami pa mga centers. It's just that it's not meant for you. So you gotta find it somewhere else. Don't stop, okay? Don't ruin the start of your 2020. And next is spiritually. So guys, I remember when I was still starting, applying for BPO jobs, I always pray prior going to my interview because I mean, it's not just all you. You have to get guidance. You have to get blessings from God. If it's really meant for you, you'll get it. Second tip is look prepared. So for the look prepared, it's easy. So when you get there, during the interview, so let's say your name is already called, and whether it's panel interview or just you alone, like one-on-one interview. So what you can do is breathe in, breathe out. Okay, relax. Kasi if you don't relax, it will affect the way you answer, or maybe the way you understand the question. So when you're nervous, kasi sometimes it ruins everything. So just try to breathe in, breathe out. And next is, so the first time when you meet with the interviewer, they offer shake hands thing, right? So you can do that. Be comfortable shaking hands with the interviewer. That would make you feel good. Trust me. Okay, next is when during the question and answer portion, so maintain an eye contact with the interviewer. Okay, that will actually help you focus na rin. Focus with the questions na binibigay sa'yo so you can understand, and a focus in a sense na your attention is not drawn to anything else around you but the interviewer. I would say sitting comfortably is important as well. So the way you sit, it can reflect kasi on how you interact with people. So just make sure that you don't slouch, of course, when you're doing your interview, right? It doesn't really have to be like super straight na ganyan, or kailangan naka-de-cuatro. Hindi naman ganon. You just have to sit comfortably, but it doesn't mean that you have to slouch. Again, you are applying for a job. And so slouching would give you a bad impression already. It's a no-no. Okay, so that is the second practical tip. For the third tip, sound prepared. So for the sound prepared, most of the tips that I'll give you is from my friends, from trainers. And okay, so I'm gonna read to you the first one. So for you to sound prepared, like confidence level. One trainer, one of my friends said, never use the line, I would like to improve my communication skills. Why? Okay. During interviews, you know, you will hear a lot of applicants like this. Okay. Um, the thing is, you are applying for a BPO, and 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 because BPOs are actually different from language centers, so the interviewer may think that nag-a-apply ka ba sa amin? So, baka kasi language center yung gusto mong puntahan. And again, BPOs are different from language centers. So, in BPO, communications is basic expectation. So, EOP talaga to guys. English only policy. So, just come prepared. I mean, it doesn't have to be really perfect English, which, we'll go to the next tip. I mean, this is under sound prepared, but another trainer said, be confident. Really important. It doesn't matter if you're comfortable with the English language. It's how you carry yourself in the conversation that matters. Be spontaneous. Not everyone can speak like fluent English, and not everyone in the call center. Okay, so this is in the call center. Not everyone has a perfect grammar. So long as you can carry yourself when you talk, um, that's good enough. Just be confident, be yourself. Um, if you're really prepared, it will definitely transpire during your interview. Again, it doesn't really have to be a perfect English, a perfect grammar. Um, so long as you are confident, you know what you're talking about, you can express what you would like to express, then that should be good enough. Okay? But this is, again, an English only policy environment. So, um, I think it would be better that you practice at home as well prior to really going to an interview or any BPO application process, because um, it's not easy. It's really not easy because everything can be asked from you, and it's random. So I remember the very first time when I applied for a BPO job, um, someone gave me like a cheat sheet. So what's not, I mean, I don't discourage that, but you can use that as a guideline. Like, okay, what if this is the question? Yes, you can do that, you can memorize that. But the thing is, anything can be asked. And if you are into those things that you memorized, you will be caught off guard. So it's not wrong to use like cheat sheets, or do your assignment, memorize, answers to most commonly asked questions during interviews. But what I meant is, just make sure that you still have something, like may baon ka pang iba. Right? Na in case tanungin ka like random questions, wala dun sa checklist mo, you can still answer it. Okay? Don't give responses that are too short. So, ito ay binigay rin sa atin ng one of the trainers din. Responses that are too short, unless you are asked with a yes or no, then that's valid na short lang ang answer mo. But the rest of it, most of the questions during interviews requires you to really speak up. So it's very rare na ang questions is yes or no. Actually, if I can remember, the only yes or no there is like, are you willing to go to work during holidays? Yun lang yung mga yes or no. But the rest of it, most especially on your resume, it's more of you who has to speak up, not the interviewer. So it's more of you talking, because they will assess you kung paano ka kabilis mag-isip, and tama ba yung mga nakalagay sa resume mo. I mean, that's just one validation na tama yung nasa resume mo. Don't forget that, guys. It's very important then na you know what you have on your resume, kasi I remember that it happened to me. Kasi pag matagal ka nang nasa call center, I mean, it happens dun sa mga matatagal na sa call center. Sometimes they update the resume, but they don't review it. So when they get to the interview, they don't know how to answer like the year and what's the job during that year, why there's a gap from this year to year na wala kang trabaho, yung mga ganun. You just have to be prepared. You have to know your tools and you have to highlight. So it's like selling yourself din kasi. So when you sell yourself, you highlight the good things. And highlighting the good things means you know what you have on your resume. You know what you're applying for. You know, those kind of things. And then after, you can thank the interviewer. And then normally kasi they will ask you, do you have any questions for me? Ganyan, or anything that you would like to add. It's super okay if you're gonna add something, if you still need to ask something, say something. And it's okay to also ask for a feedback from the interviewer. Okay? And then shake hands. Kasi always naman yan. If they don't offer the shake hands, then you can proactively ask for shake hands with the interviewer. So that is under sound prepared. So again, the 3 practical tips that I can give you to ace or to land BPO job. So this is on the application process, and this is more beneficial for newbies. First is come prepared. Second is look prepared. And the third is sound prepared. Okay, and thank you very much, everyone, for for staying up until the end of the video. I really appreciate that. I promise to give you more videos like this, like informative ones. I want to start the year, helping more people. And I know this is just a small thing, and I hope that this video, finds you. Let's start the year right. And I still remember when I'm still starting in the BPO industry. I don't have money. I don't have money to support myself. I don't have money to support my family financially. Food that they have to prepare on the table, laging kulang. I've said this to my agents before. I've said this spill to my trainees before. It's really hard if up until right now you are still like expecting support from your family. If you are already at the right age, it's time for you to pay back. Okay, and this is one of New Year's resolution that you can do for yourself, to find a job. And I just want what's best for you guys for this 2020. And I hope that you like this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click on subscribe, click on the bell button to stay updated, to get updates. And don't forget to comment if there's anything that you can add. There should be a lot of tips that you can still give. So please don't forget to comment down below. And thank you. Bye.